parent. I have a healthy, beautiful, brave, strong, I could be here all day describing this boy, son who is now 4 years old, all because of a gestational carrier. After over 12 years of infertility and countless miscarriages and heartbreak, I prayed with my husband, talked to experts, researched, and ultimately was thankful to God that there was surrogacy as an option to build our family. And the surrogate who carried my boy for me will always, I just can't put words to her, and the love of why she did that, and now the family that I have, and is just welcomed and embraced with just a large extended family. There's no words to put on what was able to be done for me and how I'll feel, and my husband will feel forever. Just grateful that we could build a family here in Minnesota where we were both born and raised and our families reside, and I'm hoping that this bill gets support so other families in my situation have that option. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Next we'll hear from Shannon Dietz, a woman that served as a gestational surrogate and carried a baby for a Minnesota family. Shannon?
Hi, my name is Shannon Dietz, and I'm originally from Fargo, but I moved here to the Metro about 12 years ago after graduating from law school, and I worked for a local online legal research company ever since. I'm here today because I was a gestational surrogate, for a local couple, and I strongly support the right of other families to have the option of surrogacy. Hi. I learned about surrogacy years before I was in the right place to take it seriously, but when the time was right, I spent months researching and eventually matched with a couple that lived nearby. The fertility clinic walked us through all of the appropriate medical screening. We had to go through psychological testing, and there was a legal counsel to make sure that we had a contract that covered everybody's rights. And eventually, it took months, but eventually we crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's, and they gave us the green light to get ready to get pregnant. It doesn't happen right away. But the end result is a beautiful little girl, and it's been amazing. It's been really an amazing experience. So all of the gestational surrogates that enter this process know that it involves a lot of long-term health risks, lifestyle limitations, lots of doctor's appointments, and months of hormone injections. It's not something to enter lightly. It's definitely not worth any amount of financial consideration if someone weren't genuinely motivated to do this. Payment had nothing to do with why I personally became a surrogate, but there's no question that the months of care that go into keeping this little baby safe until she can go back to her parents is providing a service. Right now, all the Minnesota fertility clinics require the psychological screening, financial stability, and legal counsel that are provided for with this legislation. However, these requirements are currently voluntary for the clinics. Clear state guidelines would safeguard the rights of everyone involved. My time as a gestational surrogate was one of the most fulfilling and empowering experiences I've ever had. I strongly support the right of other women to make the same choice, and for the right for them to be compensated for the months of care that they give to the children in their charge. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. Next, we'll hear from Dr. April Batchelor, a board-certified OBGYN who practices here in Minnesota and specializes in the treatment of infertility. Dr. Batchelor.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today about a topic which is very near and dear to my heart. As a reproductive endocrinologist, every day I work with couples who struggle with infertility. 1 in 8 couples have trouble conceiving or carrying a child to term. And for them, as you've heard, the journey can be long and challenging. But thanks to the miracles of science and technology, I'm able to help most of these couples achieve the dream of building the family that they've always desired. So that's why I'm here today on Advocacy Day on behalf of Resolve and of the Colorado Center for Reproductive Medicine where I work, lending my voice to support gestational surrogacy. You see, there are some couples who have medical problems that make it impossible for them to carry a child on their own. They may have heart disease, they may have cancer, they may have lupus or diabetes, They may have been born without a uterus or lost theirs along the way. And a gestational carrier is really the only way that they can have a biological child. Because we have the science of in vitro fertilization and gestational surrogacy, these couples can have the child they've always dreamed of. And so I certainly recommend this medical treatment to my patients. I've seen incredible outcomes, as you can see here. And it's a pretty miraculous gift that I think that we can all bring to these families together. My clinic and the fertility clinics in Minnesota all follow strict guidelines that are established by the American Society for Reproductive Medicine. But as you've heard today, those guidelines are voluntary and they're not required by the state. The legislation that's been announced today encompasses these guidelines to ensure that all parties are protected. In addition to ASRM, the American Society of Reproductive Medicine, the Minnesota Medical Association and ACOG all support gestational surrogacy as a safe option for our patients. So I'm grateful to have the opportunity today to help Minnesota couples achieve this dream, and I'd like to continue to do so. And so I encourage you to pass the Gestational Carrier Act, which strengthens the process and the procedure for all involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Batchelor. All these, this that you heard today from these folks are reasons why Senator Pappas and I are carrying this pro-family bill that has the chance to help so many Minnesotans. And we would stand for questions.